Hi, everyone. Welcome to Tasty Tuesday. I'm excited to be back because it's been a while, man. I set everything up, I guess 2 weeks ago for Tasty Tuesday and came in because literally I'm supposed to be able to flip a switch. And when Jeff's at work and be able to do this, right? And I've done it before, but last time I tried to do it, the camera would not turn on no matter what. And I took the whole setup down and tried to put it back together and I could not get it to work. It was so incredibly frustrating. Of course, Jeff gets home. I think he was working day shift. So he got home about 7:30 and I'm like, okay, I had to cancel my live, which he knew already. And show me, what did I do wrong? Well, he did exactly the same thing I did, but it worked for him. So go figure. I don't know. It is what it is, right? That's technology. We love it and we hate it all at the same time. So anyway, welcome everybody. I hope you're having a great day. Hi, Bob. How are you? And Bob says he's never had chicken corn chowder. Chicken corn chowder is like something my mom used to always make. And it's such an easy chowder and it's so delicious. And now I'm sort of winging this a little bit, but it is a recipe that I've been testing. I've had it in my testing calendar for over a year now. I ended up releasing a slow cooker version of it in the Possible Cooker Pro. And this is a slightly modified version because when you go under pressure with a creamy or a thick soup, you have to approach it a little bit differently. And I'm hoping that live tonight, I'm going to get all the measurements correct because that's what's been holding it back from being released, from me doing a video and it being released, is because I can't quite get it perfected as far as the texture and the creaminess. So I'm going to do some things a little bit different. And when I'm testing a recipe, any kind of recipe, but especially a soup, the things that I pay attention to, number one are flavor. Obviously, that is number one, hands down flavor. But also appearances are important and also textures are important. And so I'm going to do things a little bit differently to build this soup in hoping that at the end I can get the right textures on the vegetables because we're pressure cooking and that tends to make them a little bit softer than I like in a soup. So we're going to try some new things out here today. It's nothing new. I'm sure I've got recipes that do the same thing. But I'm going to use the Ninja Foodi. This is the 2-lid. Yeah, the 2-lid. This is the 2-lid model. So this is like going back kind of old school. And I know a lot of people have had questions like, am I ever going to do any recipes in the Ninja Foodi again? Am I ever going to do any videos for the Ninja Foodi again? And the answer is yes, I am. But I am only doing ones that I feel like are really superb recipes that add something extra to the millions of other Instant Pot recipes out there, right? And I'm sure there are Instant Pot chicken corn chowder recipes. I haven't tried them. I haven't tried any of them, but I'm sure that some of them are very delicious. But hopefully I'll bring something a little bit different to the table with mine. And it'll be even more delicious than any of the other ones published out there. So you're going to get to see it first live, and hopefully it all works out. But if not, we go with it, right? We just go with the flow. All right. Hey, John. Good morning. How are you? There's lots of people in tonight. That's awesome. And I'm going to go back so I can say hi. Hi, Craig. Hi, Heidi. Hi, Claudia. Hi, Christina. Hey, Dawn. Hi, George. How are you over there in Scotland? Hi, Barbara. Good to see you. I already said hi to Bob. It's good to see everybody. And I am going to start releasing videos on YouTube again, just so you guys know. We have them filmed and edited, and it's really now up to me to get the recipes written on my website, and then I'll start posting those videos again. So we'll be back in full swing, as I said, in the fall, so in September. So we're going to be doing that. And we're going to Germany. I'll just tell you real quick about that, and then we'll get started on the chicken corn chowder. But we are going to Germany. We are leaving on the 30th of September. We arrive on the 1st of October. We are meeting up with friends. One of my dear friends from Annapolis she's stationed over in Germany, and she has been for several years, and her husband is there with her now. So we decided we're going to go and visit them and go to Oktoberfest. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And then we leave, and we don't know where we're going. Isn't that crazy? So we're going to be over there in Europe, and we don't even have plans. Well, we do have one plan. Our main thing after Germany is we're going to take the train to Switzerland, and Jeff is going to paraglide in Switzerland in Zermatt. And that is, oh my gosh, I always forget the name of this thing. I cannot believe, Jeff, are you in? You tell me what the name is that thing that the Matterhorn. Oh, there it is. Yeah, the Matterhorn. I don't know why I forget that. And then after we do that for a couple of days, we're probably going to go into Italy, and we don't have any set in stone plans. Isn't that crazy? We're really winging it. And it's just, I don't even know if this is, I'm kind of nervous, honestly. Hi, CB from Portugal. How are you? Hi, Kay Chase. How are you? Hi, Juliet. Hi, Danowitz. Danowitz. I don't know what the first name is. I hope everyone's doing well tonight. And hey, Jeff, you're there. So Jeff is in the chat. He is at work. Let's see. Lord Raven, how are you? I think I've got everybody, but if not, I apologize. Claudia, I'm not sure if I said hi to you. I think I got everybody. So let's get started with dinner, right? Because this is going to be my dinner. Hopefully it tastes good. That'll be funny. Hey, KS, how are you? George, that's funny. George says, I hope Jeff isn't paragliding in his kilt. Oh, you know what Jeff did not do this time? He set this up for me, and maybe I can fix it. Now, do you guys see comments? There's something that's in beta, and I'm not sure if I did it right, but you should now be able to see comments. If you're watching from Facebook, you should be able to see the YouTube comments on the screen. If you're watching on YouTube, you should be able to see the Facebook comments. And hopefully you can hear me. I didn't even do that little setup. I think we tested the microphone earlier, and I think it's fine. Hi, Mercedes. How are you from Toronto? How's it going? All right, let's see. All right, so I've got the pressure cooker here. Now, I've got the chicken. I've already got that cubed up. I'm going to set that over to the side here. Let me not cover. Jeff always says I cover everything up. So let me put that there. And then let me tell you about the ingredients I have and how we're going to approach this. So a chowder is usually made with a roux. A roux is equal parts flour and a fat. The fat can be bacon grease. The fat can be butter. You know, it just depends on what you're making. I'm going to be using butter for the main roux, but I do have a little bit of bacon grease from cooking some bacon up. And I only could cook 2 slices of bacon. The actual recipe will call for a lot more than that, but 2 slices is all I need because I'm going to use it as a garnish at the end. And I wanted it crunchy for that. So I only have a little bit of bacon grease. If I was to cook like an entire pound of bacon to use as a garnish, then I would probably use all bacon grease for the roux. But because I don't, I'm going to do this in 2 different ways. So the first thing I'm going to do is get some butter into the pan, which I know I have here. Yep, right there. Into the pot. We're going to turn this on. We're going to go on sear saute. Now I'm a little rusty, so I'm hoping I'm on sear saute. We're going to hit start, and I'm going to put the butter right in. Sometimes I'll let the pot heat up, but I'm going to put it right in because this is right out of the refrigerator. And I'm putting in 4 tablespoons. And you know what I did not get? Did not get my flour. So let me grab that. I think, excuse me, Gus, I've got dogs here too. So the dogs are hanging out with me tonight. Now this is 1/3 of a cup, so it's a little bit more than I need, but it'll be fine. And I'll put that right there. I don't think that'll block you. And then I have 1 sweet onion that I have into a dice. The dice is probably about 1/2 inch, a little bit bigger than some of the soups that I use, but we're going under pressure. So I don't want them to kind of disappear. If they were 1/4 inch, they would sort of disappear. And then I have a little bit of celery. They're going to go under pressure too. And they're just kind of in like, I would say 1/2 inch slice. And I didn't even like cut them down the center. And that is to ribs. I'm going to be correct in this. 2 ribs of celery, which the entire bunch is the stalk, and then each individual one is called a rib. And we don't use those terms in the U.S. too much. We call it in our recipes. We always just say, 2 stalks of celery, but that's technically not correct. Then I have a red pepper and a green pepper. Now, these are the things I do not want to go under pressure with, because under pressure, number 1, they become way too soft. And number 2, they get dull in color. So I don't want that to happen. So we're going to do a little bit of prep here in the pot, and then we are going to pull that out. And, usually I put garlic in this, and I didn't even get any garlic out. So I think I'm going to grab some garlic. Those are my carrots. They will go under pressure. They can handle it. And they're in about a 1/2 inch slice as well. Let me grab the garlic real quick. If I can find the garlic. There's the garlic. Oops, that one's growing little stalks here. It's fine. It doesn't matter. My garlic's a little old, so it's a little like some of them are growing their little stalks where you would, or their little things where you would actually plant it. That's fine though. It'll work out. Could be a little bit more bitter when that starts to happen, but I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is saute the peppers, and both peppers. And those are going under pressure, so I don't need to do anything with that right now. And we're going to saute these just for about a minute. Hey, Barbara, how are you? Just for about a minute. Then I will add in the flour. We're going to create kind of a roux with the vegetables. Then I'm going to pull them out, and then we're going to proceed. And from there on, it's really dump and then pressure cook. And the pressure cook time is very short. So this is a quick way to make a hopefully delicious chicken corn chowder. You know what I also forgot? Look, I'm not on my game here. I forgot the bacon, which we need raw bacon and cooked bacon for this. So I have 2 slices of thick cut raw bacon, and I'm going to be putting that in after I take these vegetables out, and they provide a lot of flavor in the chowder. So while those are sauteing, let me get my old garlic kind of fixed up here. I'm trying to make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. You can use as much or as little garlic as you want, really. It's up to you. I'm not mincing it. I'm putting it in whole. It'll be fine when it's pressure cooked. And I'll check some messages here, make sure. Hey, Virginia, how are you? I had a knife here. Oops. Really should have had this done. Sorry. It's kind of boring to watch me do this, isn't it? And I'm making a mess. All right, give it a little bit of a stir. And I'm going to season that too. I'm going to layer the seasonings in this. I'm going to put a 1/2 teaspoon of salt and about 1/4 of pepper. That's the only seasoning I'm using. Obviously, you could change the seasoning up. That's perfectly fine, but I'm just going to use salt and pepper in this. And the garlic's not going to go in until after I take these vegetables out. And I'll just peel it. Put them over there. Or I can just put them right in there. That'll be good. All right. Next thing. Got to stay on track here. Okay. Now we're going to build that roux. I'm going to sprinkle this over. And something funny that I learned recently is I've always said equal amounts of flour and butter to make a simple roux. And that is true, but it's by weight, not by measure. Like we go by tablespoons and stuff like that, but it's close enough that it doesn't really make that much difference. Plus I go by looks a lot more than I go by measurements. I do that in almost all my cooking anyway, because I don't like to spend the time measuring things, which it's perfectly fine if you do, but I just don't. I'd like to throw things in and just estimate. That's how I even make bread. So what I'm looking for is that all of the butter in there, all of the fat is bound to the flour. If I can still see flour at the end and it doesn't look like I had enough fat in there, then I will add a little bit more fat. And this is not exactly how you make a roux just because I added the vegetables first, but it will work exactly the same to thicken our chowder at the end. That's looking pretty good. So I used just under 1/3 of a cup, and I used 4 tablespoons of butter. I'll scrape the bottom here. And I'm going to pull this out. We've got nice, beautiful vegetables that have kept their color, and that is exactly what I wanted. Now, I need a, I didn't plan. See what I mean? This is terrible when you, I did plan. I forgot my plan. All right, so what did that take? I mean, no time at all. Now the flour will be, I'm not going to say raw, but it's not going to be cooked as much, but it will simmer in the chowder at the end, and it will finish cooking that flour taste out. So I am not concerned with that, with that at all, that I just left it in there a few minutes. It's more important to me that the vegetables stay firm and that the color of them stays vibrant, because that's going to look beautiful in our soup. All right, now we can get some chicken in and our bacon grease. So again, this is just about 2 tablespoons, and it has the bacon bits in there, which is going to be just fine. And we can put in our 2 strips of bacon right now. That's fine. And when I put the chicken in, I will season, but let me get this going because I got quite a few cloves here to get the paper off of. I'm putting them in whole, like I said, and I'm not putting them in right away because I don't want them to burn. Even though they're whole, they could still burn. And that burnt garlic is the worst flavor in the world, really. Well, I don't know if it's the worst in the world, but it's pretty bad. So I don't want that to happen. Now, what just happened there? Why is it telling me, did I go under pressure? Isn't that hilarious? Okay, so look, this is a little thing. So I didn't get the sear saute correct because I can't see it. And I told you I'm out of practice here. Oh, it's over towards me. I'm totally lost now. I used to know this thing like completely by memory. Like I didn't even have to look at the panel because I used it so much on camera. But I haven't in a while, so screwed up. But anyway, you can see that pressure cooking without the lid doesn't do anything except like a high sear saute. It's the same thing. So we're good to go. No problems there. But that's why it was telling me to add water, because it couldn't build steam to go under pressure, which it never would because the lid wasn't on. So it never could build pressure. But anyway, we're moving right along. All right, now I can put in the onions. The celery, the carrots. I'll let those saute while I finish this up. And then I'll check some comments, but we'll be going under pressure in less than, I would say, 5 minutes. You know what's really funny is I have whole garlic cloves that are already peeled in my refrigerator. I could have just gotten a handful of those. But it's good to use this up anyway. All right, oops. One more I'll do. All right, so that was, it's about, I don't know, 7 or so. All righty. One more. Okay, now we can put that in. Put this all in. Very good. Now let's see. What do I have to do? Next is the chicken, which is 1.5 pounds of chicken breast that I've already trimmed and cubed. We're going to put that in, and then we're going to do a little bit more seasoning. So we season the chicken. Now you could brown the chicken. That would actually bring more flavor into it, but it also takes time. So it is up to you. If you have the time to do that, you can. I didn't hit start. We're off to a good start here tonight, aren't we? I was wondering why it was starting to kind of fizzle out there. I'm sure I had people telling me in the chat that I like this one. Barbara saying, forgetting your veggie dish made me giggle. I can't imagine having to narrate while I cook. Yeah, it's a weird mind thing because I'm thinking through the recipe as I'm talking through the recipe, but my brain goes faster than my mouth. So sometimes I'll have to stop talking to get my thought all the way through in my head of what I need to do next. So yeah, it is a little bit challenging, honestly, especially when you have things set up, which I love because that's mise en place, and that makes everything just a little bit easier and more coordinated here for a live than the old Tasty Tuesdays, which are going to come back, guys. Okay, the old Tasty Tuesdays where I'm winging it all the time, they are coming back. We just have to transition into getting Tasty Tuesday back on the Tuesday when Jeff is not working. And we need to figure out, because we're usually in a different location when he's not working, we have to figure out the logistics. And in the summertime, we have way too much work to do with our yard because we have 16 acres in Tennessee, and that takes 2 days every week, sometimes even twice a week to cut. So our time is so limited over the summer. It's crazy. So that's why it hasn't worked out recently for us to do the lives together. But we are going to do that again. We enjoy that. It's fun for us. So we definitely are going to do that. But there is something that is a little bit easier for me when I know what I'm doing instead of him just surprising me with ingredients, which can be a little bit tricky, right? Okay. I also have to cut up some potatoes, because we're going to put potatoes in here. And I also need to grab the corn. So let me do this. Let me dump the chicken in, 1.5 pounds cubed. And I have them cubed in about 2-inch cubes. They will shrink up some, but I want them to cook perfectly, but not overcook in 2 minutes of pressure cook time. So that is the size that I recommend, is about 2-inch, 1.5 to 2-inch. Now I'm going to add in a little bit more pepper. So I'm going to do 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, and then we'll do a full teaspoon of salt. We can adjust seasonings at the end if we need to. I'm putting it right over top of the chicken. While that's going on, let me grab the frozen corn. I have tried this because, this has been in testing for a while. I just haven't quite gotten it perfect. I hope tonight's the night. I've tried canned corn. I think that when you're going to go into pressure, fresh or frozen corn is better, and I have frozen. So let me grab that. And this is just 12 ounces of frozen corn. All right, let's get the chicken down there. Move around a little bit here. Now I'm not adding cream, but I am going to add, this is 12 ounces. I'm going to add the whole thing. Not adding cream right now. Cream will split under pressure, so you don't want to add it right now. We're going to finish it with that. I'm using Yukon Gold potatoes for a couple of reasons. Number one, don't have to peel them, right? Number two, they will hold up better under pressure. They will stay a little bit firmer than, let's say, a russet. Now, if you wanted to use russets, it would be fine. You could. And this is about 1.25 pounds or so of potatoes. However many you want to use is fine. However potato you want your chowder to be. Now, one thing, if you use russets, peel them. But they will add a little bit of starchiness, so they will actually make your soup a little bit thicker. but I prefer to have the bite of the potato because then it's a texture thing for me. I want to know, like, this is not a pureed soup. This soup has texture. And so I want to control that texture every step of the way. And using Yukon Gold will do that. It'll give me the bite of a potato without it falling apart like a russet would. If you wanted to use russets though, or combination, you absolutely can. Now the amount of chicken broth, this is where it gets a little tricky. Like, this is a big pot of soup, right? The chicken is going to put off liquid. So when I'm deciding how much broth to put in to something that I'm going to pressure cook, I kind of think about the vegetables that I'm using and whatever proteins I'm using. And I think about, do they give off liquid or do they absorb liquid? Like, for example, the chicken is going to give off liquid. So it's going to increase our overall volume of liquid in the pot. Whereas if I had rice in here, and even these potatoes to a certain degree, but rice is even more. If I had rice in here, which I would not traditionally put in a chicken corn chowder, but if I did, that will absorb liquid. So I would need a lot more liquid to have the end result that I want. Most of these vegetables will give off liquid. Frozen corn is going to give off liquid. Of course, the chicken's going to give off liquid. So I'm going to go light on the liquid in the beginning. I'm only going to put in 2 cups. Because you can always add more at the end. But if it's too runny, once I add the vegetables with the roux back in, if it's too runny, then I have to worry about like thickening it with either a cornstarch slurry or a flour slurry or making more roux or something like that. I don't want to have to do that. Also, the 2 cups versus 4 cups will bring the pot to pressure a little bit quicker. And that will be just fine for the types of vegetables, the types and size, because the size plays a big role in this. If I cut my potatoes much bigger, they might not cook in the 2 minutes. If I cut my chicken much smaller, they might overcook in the 2 minutes. So the size that you make is also important. Now I'm going through a little checklist in my head. I don't think I'm going to season anymore. I think I'm good in there because we're going to add that seasoned roux with the vegetables back in. And if I need salt and pepper at the end, I will add it. But I don't think I'm going to add it now because, again, it's one of those things you can add more, but you can't take it out usually. I don't know much of anything that really gets rid of the salt flavor unless you add more of what you made the dish with, which would mean adding more liquid, which could change the consistency at the end. So I'm going to go light on the seasoning, which I don't think I went light on it, but we're going to do that and then we'll add more at the end. All right, so here we go. 2 cups of chicken broth going in. Give it a stir and we're going to put our lid on because that's it. So that's all we need to do right now. I did talk about the cream. We'll add that at the end. I also have some shredded cheddar cheese. I've never made chicken corn chowder with cheese. I don't know. It just isn't something that I've done. But because I have another recipe for slow cooker chicken corn chowder that does not have cheese in it, I thought, and we're doing this just as a live kind of have some fun things. I think I'm going to put some cheddar cheese in it and see. It'll thicken it. It's going to change the color a little bit, but it might be delicious. I don't know. All right, so now we need to go over to pressure cook, and we're going to hit start, but we're going to take our time down to 2 minutes, and that's it. So, I mean, look how easy that was. And, oh, also, you know what else I wanted to tell you guys? I'm putting those over there because you know what's going to happen when I'm done with all this? I'm going to forget to put them in, and then I'm going to wonder why my soup is so runny, right? I did an experiment, and I forget what recipe it was, but I decided to take one of my soups and not pressure cook it. I decided that I would do it a different way, and I don't remember if I did it on the stove. I don't think I slow cooked it. I think I changed it to like just a sear saute kind of stovetop type of soup. The flavor was not nearly as good as pressure cooking. So there is truth to that. Pressure cook really builds flavor quickly. It really, really is true. So pressure cooking soups is one of my favorite ways. Now, slow cooking is also a good method because it's a lower temp over a longer period of time and you develop flavor that way. But compared to pressure cooking or just stovetop cooking, pressure cooking your soups really brings the flavor. All right, let me go back here. Hey, Brittany, how are you? So cream cheese. Okay, so chicken corn chowder with cream cheese. I've never had that either. That sounds kind of interesting, Brittany. I'm going to stick with cheddar tonight, but I might play around with that too. I don't use a lot of cream cheese in soups, and not because I don't like it. I love cream cheese. I don't know why I don't. I just don't usually. Hey, Peggy, how are you? Thank you. This is from Stella Falone, and I've had it for years and years now, and I absolutely love it. It needs to be re-oiled. Jeff oils it for me and reconditions it, but it has been such a wonderful cutting board. They're expensive though. I'm not gonna lie to you. They're expensive. They are from Taylor Guitars, I think. Jeff would know more than me about. It's the same company that makes guitars, and Jeff is a guitar player, so of course he found it, right? And he got it for me. But I absolutely love it. It is really nice and sturdy, and it's a good size. I love it very much. Hey, Barbara Barnes, how are you? All right, let's go. I'm gonna skip down and then I'm gonna roll back up again so I can see. Okay, what model of Ninja Foodi are you using tonight? Oh my gosh. This is probably, let me take my glasses off so I can see the back. This is FD302. So this is one of the ones that, so the originals were OP. There was an OP300, OP302. Those are all the 6.5 quart. So this is a 6.5 quart. You could do it in the 8 quart, no problem though. It would be perfectly fine. Excuse me. This is when they changed the lid design, which could have been the beginning of the end of the Ninja Foodi as we know it, which is a very sad, sad thing. But they changed it so they have a stainless little thing here. The other lids were just black or gray. I think they were black. Maybe some were black and gray. And they did this one, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I didn't like, because if you touch it, this gets very hot, whereas the old lid never did. Just this little section though. But I've been using this one more and more. My 2 lid, the 1 lid. I love my 1 lid, but it really started giving me problems with the pot notice. And that upset me. And of course, you haven't been able to replace those in years. And I think the only Ninja Foodi model that is still available is the Walmart one, which is fine. I don't know if it has sous vide though, but they are totally phasing them out here in the US. I know that people over in the UK and even Australia can still get them, but I don't know for how long really. So they are definitely being phased out, which is just, I don't know. It's very sad for me because number one, I've got a ton of recipes in there. And number 2, I love it. I mean, that's the most important thing. I absolutely love it. Okay. So John's saying this is the same lid that's always been available. I don't think I have an old one. I mean, I do. I just don't know exactly where it would be, but the old ones were just a solid color. And I don't know how long it took for Australia to get the Ninja Foodi. So it might have been about the same time that they switched our lids here. Could be. I'm not sure. All right, let me go back up here. Just make sure. Okay, so sweet and spicy. I want to make chicken and dumplings. Well, I have a recipe on my website for chicken and dumplings. Jeff or John or somebody, if you might be able to look it up and pop it in the comment, that would be great. The link. Jeff, if you're there, you can probably do it pretty quickly. Anyway, so chicken and dumplings and the fluffy dumplings, not the square ones. So I'm assuming you are talking of, I'm trying to remember what dumplings I do. I think I do traditional. I think they're the fluffy ones. that you're talking about, because I drop them in and then they kind of fluff up. So I think I have what you're looking for. So definitely you can look at that. Now you can adjust your ingredients, of course, however you like them, but that would be a good guide on how to get it done in the pressure cooker, because that's also a creamy type of soup. And I'm pretty sure I pressure cook the base of it and then put it on sear saute when I add in the dumplings. But I do make the dumplings from scratch. And it's a delicious recipe. And I never thought I would like chicken and dumplings. I thought it would be a little bit too heavy, but I really love that recipe. It's very, very good. All right, let me jump down here and see. Jeff has his mouse backwards. To me, it's backwards. So what that means is I have to scroll up to go down and scroll down to go up. It's insane. I don't know how his brain thinks so differently than mine. And we were joking about it the other day. Like, why is your mouse backwards? He's like, why is your brain backwards? Because it makes sense to me. Like, it doesn't to me. It's backwards. Hi, Lisa. How are you? Welcome. It's Lisa's first time here. Well, it's really laid back. I'm doing live. Obviously, this is live, so anything can happen, and usually does. I mean, something usually goes wrong. I've already had things go wrong because I forgot where I put a dish, and then there's going to be more when I had it on pressure cook instead of sear saute. I mean, these are all real life things that happen, and they happen to everybody, and we just roll with it and have fun, and we chat and catch up, and it's a really great group of people. So welcome. And I hope it's not your last time joining in. And I hope we get back into a normal, every other week Tasty Tuesday. I haven't been doing my live Q&As lately. And I miss them, honestly. I kind of like sitting down and just chatting with everybody. So if you used to tune in to the live Q&As, is that something you would want me to bring back? I always had fun with it. We got into some really, really great and fun conversations about cooking. It was all about just cooking things, we chatted about a lot of stuff, but mostly cooking and different techniques and things like that. And it started out as me answering questions about the Ninja Foodi, but as people got better using it, they had less questions about that and more questions about maybe other appliances that they're struggling with, or other cooking techniques that they're struggling with, or just something they're trying to get right, or some weird ingredient that they're using, and we just talk about it. It's just a lot of fun. So let me know if you think I should bring those back, because I'm all for it. Once I get back from Australia, Australia, I wish I was going back to Australia. Get back from Germany, then things, and throughout the entire winter, everything will get back on track, because I have so much more time available to me when I don't have to cut the grass all the time. And we have two houses, because this is, a studio, and it still has a lawn. So we have to cut that too, but it's much smaller than the one at home. All right, let me go ahead and. Okay, Brittany says, I always like the live Q&As because that's where I'd ask my organ meat questions. Okay, Brittany, I saw your organ meat question. Okay, so I have never cooked kidney. Okay, I have cooked liver. I've never cooked kidney. So I don't know what the texture is, but it intrigued me, and I looked it up. And you don't want to just chop it up and put it in stew and pressure cook, because I believe that it's going to have a weird texture and be a little tough and kind of, I think, grainy. Now, I don't know, so you can experiment and you can report back, because I don't have kidney to try it out, I do have a kidney, but I'm certainly not cooking my own kidney. And I don't have a cow, which hopefully one day Jeff and I will do that, and I'll experiment with some organ meat. But I know you've got one person that said slice it thin and pan fry it. I have heard that is a really good way to eat it. I don't know. I've never had it, so it's kind of weird to me. Anyway, I would try it, but it's kind of weird. Then also there's a steak and kidney pie, and that is probably a filling. I guess I have never eaten one, but I'm assuming that it is kind of like a pot pie. I'm assuming, and somebody can correct me for sure on that. I think that in there you would want like a low and slow type of cooking. You almost probably want to take that kidney to much higher temperatures like we do when we're shredding chicken or pulled pork or something like that. That's how I'm thinking, just based on a 2-minute research that I did because I was so intrigued. But you tell us, how are you cooking it? Because I'd be really interested to know. And especially after you cook it, you have to post about it. You just really do. You really do. All right. I'm getting some yeses to the Q&A. So I will start to bring those back. I can do those from home or here, so it doesn't matter. So I also fixed my office up at home. So if you follow me on Facebook, and I think I posted in Simply Cooking with Louise. I'm not sure if I posted on my main page or not, but this break that I've been on since returning from Australia, not doing YouTube videos, things like that, was to get projects done and to get back end systems in place so that I can produce more and better quality things for you guys, whether it's recipes or maybe ebooks or maybe a cookbook or things like that. I can't do that when I don't have systems in place to keep up with all the daily stuff I have to do. So I've been building those systems over this time that I've been off, and I'm really excited to let you guys know that I'm getting back into sending emails. I think you may have noticed, if you're on Facebook, that I have been posting more recipes, and I'm doing it in different formats. You can now, on some of them, you can just type in save and they will go automatically to your inbox. And then you have the option to actually have them emailed to you as well. So that I've started, and that's going really well. I'm getting positive feedback from that. And then I'm losing my train of thought because I'm talking too fast and too much, but there was something else I wanted to tell you. Oh, so one of the big projects, like I redid the bathroom here, it was horrible. It was all I redid the floors too. It all needed updating, right? I mean, it's an older house and it needed updating. So I've updated that. So I did that. And I also completely redid my office at home in Tennessee. It was this terrible yellow, like the worst color and I love yellow. I love the color yellow, but it is the worst color of yellow. Like I could never be live on camera in that office. It was horrible. And now it is a beautiful, very soft gray. I've got a beautiful couch in there. I've got it just looks amazing. And that was a project, my friends, let me tell you, because the people who painted before me, I think they put up new drywall, which whoever did the drywall was a professional. They did a really good job at the drywall, except where they taped. If you know anything about drywall, you're going to put tape down the seams, and then you're going to mud over the tape, and then you smooth it all out, and then you prime the walls. Okay, so we're now pressure cooking. You prime the walls with primer. It's an important step. They didn't do that. So as I was sanding and prepping the walls, and I was seeing some peeling paint, and I'm like, what is going on? Do I have moisture behind my walls? What's going on? And that started a whole thing. So I ended up like having to scrape off so much paint, yellow paint, where they didn't prime. So it really wasn't adhering. And I can't go back over that. I need to take it off so I do it right. Oh my gosh, that was a nightmare, but it is done and it is beautiful, and I'm just so happy about it. So I'm trying to think what else I did. Barbara loves the recipe format. That's awesome. Great. I'm so happy. Craig has saved some. That's wonderful. I'm so glad. And let's see. The bathroom. Brittany says, did you finish the bathroom kitchen cabinets for the size of the garden gnomes? Okay, so that was the bathroom cabinets. So this was hysterical. I put all the bathroom cabinet doors on upside down, and so when I put the knobs on, they were all way at the bottom, and for some reason, it didn't even occur to me. I took a picture. I think Jeff came home and he's like, what did you do? Like, what do you mean? What did I do? I finished the bathroom. He's like, you have all the doors upside down. Like the handle shouldn't be at the bottom. Oh so I had to turn them all back around again, and that's fine. Except for Brittany, I'm missing one knob, which I did not. I had the amount of knobs and I painted them because they were a brass color and I wanted them to be black, and I painted them. And I'm missing one now. I wasn't before. I mean, I was, when I put them on upside down, I was missing the one. But when I took them off, I had them all. And I'm still missing one. And I think it was my cat, because when I had them out, and it's in the house somewhere. It's literally in this house somewhere, but I've yet to find it. I think it's the cat. You know what, Jeff? If you're still in, when you get home tomorrow morning, I think we're going to look under the bed. Because what if she batted it under the bed? I mean, that's the thought. I didn't really look under the bed too well. But yeah, so I'm missing one pull for the cabinets. All right, we are done pressure cooking, and we can do a little bit of a natural release while I go and grab the other ingredients that we're going to put in, which is a little bit of cream and a little bit of cheese, I think, at the end. So we'll just let that go. You could release the pressure now. Nothing would happen, but I'm just going to let it go for just a minute. It's not going to hurt anything. And let me get the rest of the ingredients here. And cheese. And I'm using bagged cheese, so don't judge. Just going to use some sharp cheddar that's already done for me, and some cream. And we're going to put this back in. And so let's see. If I'm going to be writing a recipe, what does that say right now? I can't even see it. Well, since I'm doing a recipe, let's go 5 minutes of natural release. Just to keep it simple. I mean, I'm not going to say do 1.5 minutes of natural release. That would sound ridiculous. So let's do 5 minutes of natural release, and then I'll release the pressure, and then we'll finish the soup, and I will need something to eat it with, won't I? I'll just get one of these bowls. I am very hopeful that this is going to be delicious. All right. Did Jeff get in there? And hey, Bonnie, I'm making chicken corn chowder. And I have like some vegetables and a roux here that I'm going to add in after the pressure cook time and after we open the lid, because I didn't want them to get dull. I wanted them to be vibrant and beautiful and have some texture in the soup. I don't know if you guys, bye, Brittany. See you later. We have to catch up soon. I know you're so busy with your baby and he's so adorable. I don't know if Jeff, oh yeah. Okay, good. John did it. Thank you, John. So that the chicken and dumplings recipe link is in there. Thanks, John. All right, let's see. Bye, Dawn. All right, let's see. Yeah, so Barbara says, I particularly like that I can immediately recognize that it's a Louise recipe. Often I don't read the headers and I skim posts. Absolutely, right. So yeah, I wanted to be a little bit different. I mean, I think standing out in the saturation of, Facebook is important, and especially with recipes. And there's so much AI crap out there going on. And it's one of the things that it just breaks my heart that there are so many people that saw an opportunity to make money by basically creating recipes with AI, creating fake photos with AI, posting them all over Facebook. They're being shared a gazillion times, and people, because they look beautiful, because they're fake. They're not real recipes. They're not real photos. They're not even real recipes. Most of them will not work because they haven't been tested by a human. And you're just going to run into problems with them. So I really wanted to create something that would be visually attractive, give you a little snapshot. Those are the recipe cards where I actually give you the quick steps so you can actually see what's involved in making the recipe. And then I give you the ingredients, not the amounts, but the ingredients. So if you don't like 10 out of 12 of the ingredients, then you're not going to make the recipe, right? So I think knowing what the ingredients are is a good thing. And then I have some that are a little bit different, and they just give you the photo of the recipe and the title, and if you comment save, it sends it to you. And that's all automatic. I don't have to do that. So there are some, when you go into automations, which again, those are the back end systems that I've been working on. When you use automations for things, it's important for me in particular, that it's not so automated that I don't get to connect with people, because that's the most important part of my job. And the best part of it is connecting with people, real people, real to real. But the automations help, because I couldn't possibly go into every post and send recipes. I mean, I don't live online, I'm on there a lot, but I don't live online. I couldn't possibly do that. So it is a little bit of an issue, because if I post something else, if you ever write the word save, you're going to get a weird message that might not even apply. Like, I could post about, I don't know, whatever, and you said, oh, I saved this for later, not talking about a recipe. And one automation is going to say the recipe is being sent to your inbox, right? And that's not even true, because it's only on certain recipes that I have that set up for. And the reason that is a Facebook thing. So the automation that sends you the recipe is through something called Grocer's List. And it's like ManyChat. ManyChat's been used for years and years, but it's a little complicated to set up. I started with that and I wasn't really happy with it. It took a lot more work, especially using it for Facebook. I said 5 minutes and now I'm at 6. So I went to Grocer's List, and at first I wasn't going to keep with it. And I'm still doing an experiment, because Facebook, and they actually even tell me this, they send me a notice. Your post is not reaching as many people as it could because you have a link in the post. So with that save feature, I have to put the link to the recipe in the body of the post itself, like the caption above. So it knows what recipe to grab and send to you, right? Okay. But Facebook hates that, because they don't want any links going off of Facebook, because they want to keep you on Facebook. So they throttle down who they show it to. So a lot of people won't see those posts. So that's why I'm varying them. I've got different forms, that I'm using, different setups, I guess you will, different graphics. And I'm just going to see which ones work, which ones people like the most, and things like that. So on the ones that are the recipe cards that have 2 sides to them, the link to the recipe is in the first comment. And I get to do that automatically too, through technology, because technology is wonderful until it's not, right? I'm trying to think if there's anything else going on. I did that. I'm working on emails. That's really complicated. Emails are very complicated, because I don't want to send emails to people that don't want those emails, right? And I've got my email list kind of segmented, but then I always think, oh, but if they have a pressure cooker and it's not a pressure cooker recipe, they're still going to like it, because they're still going to be able to do it. But then I'm like, no, well, maybe I shouldn't send it. So it really screws with my head, because I don't want to bombard people with things that they don't want in their inbox, because in your email, it takes time to clear out your email, and I'm respectful of that. I mean, it takes me a lot of time to clear out my email. I can only do it once a month, literally. I skim through to see if I need to respond to somebody, but other than that, I can only sit down and do it once a month, because I get so much crap in there, and I don't want to be part of the crap that you get, right? So so I stopped sending emails altogether, which is kind of silly. I should have I don't know. I'm thinking it all through. I'm an overthinker. That's who I am. So, hi Sylvia, thank you. Oh, great, Bonnie, that's wonderful. And what I love about the save format, when you write the word save, is I also know it comes into my inbox, my private, the salt and pepper chat box, what do you call that? Messenger on Facebook. So I can actually have a conversation with you, and it's legal to have the conversation because you initiated it. And I think that's great for connection. So when when that happens and you get it there, you have a direct line to me. Feel free to use that direct line if you have a question about any of my recipes, or even another recipe. I don't mind, or a cooking technique or anything like that. I love chatting with people. I really do. Now I may not get back to you in a minute, but I will get back to you for sure. Absolutely. So feel free to use that as a direct line. I'm on Facebook quite a bit. I don't do Instagram, but I think I'm going to start getting into that. I don't know the first thing about it. I've never been into it at all. And also, Jeff and I started doing reels, short form video. So I'm going to start releasing some of those because really, I think there are pros and cons to long form video. If you really want to learn something and you really need to watch a long video that's, 15, 20 minutes to go through the recipe step by step, which is what I would do if I needed to learn something in the technology field. I will watch a recipe not a recipe, but a technique on how to do something online. And I don't want it to be 2 minutes. I'm not going to learn in 2 minutes, right? I'm not going to learn anything in 2 minutes if it's something I just don't know how to do. So I think there's a big, big place for these long form videos. But I also think that there are other people, and I'm one of these people. I don't like reels. I don't like recipe reels too much because I don't follow recipes, right? Because I create them, I don't follow them. But with reels, sometimes it'll get me into, I want to learn more about that. So I was introduced to it through the reel, but now I'm going to go to that website because I do much better reading than watching videos. So that's just always been my preference way of learning, except with technology, because I find following along really helps. But with most things, I like to consume it by reading. And so I can look at a short video and then be like, okay, I'm going to delve in deeper, but I won't necessarily watch a long video. All right, let's look at our soup. Now we're going to be steamy. I forgot to tell Jeff that this is going to be steamy. We're going to steam up the entire camera. Hold on a minute. All right, so let's see. Juliet says she rarely watches shorts on YouTube. I don't think shorts are a big thing on YouTube. I'm talking reels on TikTok and on, which I'm not on TikTok. I mean, I'm on TikTok, but I don't do anything with TikTok, but I might put my reels on TikTok. I mean, I don't have anything against TikTok. If TikTok is still here, September 17th, because I think that's tomorrow, right? I don't know what's going on with that, with the ban. It was extended, but I don't know what's going on with it. But I don't think many people, I don't know. I shouldn't speak for other people because I really don't know, but I don't watch shorts on YouTube either. I just don't. Now I have, so George says, are you still, yeah. So I just talked about that a little bit, George. I have not been sending them in a long time, but I'm getting back into it. Also, George, and I know you're in the infrastructure in the Salt and Pepper Academy. I'm also going to be doing some things there with that community for the people that are on Facebook and don't want to be on Facebook, but still want to have, like a cooking community like we have here. So yeah, so I'm going to be doing stuff with that too. I've got lots of things to do. I always have a million things I'm doing, right? All right, so there is our finished soup. And it looks good. It's just not creamy. It needs to be thick and creamy, right? So now you could take your bacon out. You could leave your bacon in. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to be taking it out because I don't like flabby bacon. I really don't like flabby bacon. Although I just made rouladen, which is, let me grab a fork. I just made rouladen, and that bacon actually turns out pretty good in that recipe, even though it's inside the beef roll. All right, so I'm going to take this out because it served its purpose. It gave the flavor. You could leave it in. It doesn't really matter. You could cut it up, but if you wanted to leave the bacon in, I would chop it up before you even put it in there, right? Because you certainly don't want your guest or whoever you're feeding this to get a big slice of bacon like that. That would not be very good. All right, everything looks super, super good here. Hi, Gus. Gus wants the bacon. He wants the big bacon. All right, this looks beautiful. Oh my gosh. Now, I wanted to tell you how many cups. Let me find the measuring thing here. How many cups of soup this made. Of course, this is I gotta look this way. 14. So this made about 10 cups of soup. So that's good. My hair's falling out. Sorry, falling out of the bobby pin in the back. Now we put this in. And I am going to go on sear saute on going high, going low. It doesn't really matter because it's very hot in here already because we just pressure cooked. But I will go on sear saute, which we now know is over here. And we'll take this down to medium. And I'll hit start. All right, because remember, I want to cook that a little bit. Oh, this is working out perfect. I can already tell. I hope you guys can see. First of all, look how beautiful it is. Oh, the colors are exactly what I wanted. Oh my gosh. And this looks like a perfect thickness for a chowder. So I finally got it right. It just took me to do it live with you guys to get it right. I've been working on this for a year. Of course, when I do that, it's not like I'm making it every week, right? All right, so we probably just want about, I would say maybe a cup. Oops, this one's not open. I have one that's open. Let me grab one that's open. First, it has to be in the other room. All right, so I'm going to go with a cup of cream. Now, obviously, you don't have to add the cream. You really don't. But I like to add cream because that's, to me, what makes a chowder. A chowder is this creaminess here. All right, now I'm scared to honestly add in the cheese at this moment because I might not want the cheese in there. So how about this? How about we let this just kind of simmer? That looks really good. And I will taste for salt and pepper. Let's do that right now. See if I need any seasoning in there. No, maybe a tad of salt. But if I had cheese, I wouldn't need the salt, right? All right, let's do this. Now, I want it to simmer a little bit more, but let me take just a little bit out here. Put this in, and I'm going to add a little bit of cheese to it. And see, I think it's going to be okay with cheese. It's just, I don't know. Corn and cheese, I don't know if I really think of those as being a thing. I'm also going to put some crumbled bacon on that. And this is kind of boiling, so I'm going to turn this down. We'll go to low medium. All right, now this is not exactly as melted as I would like. It's going to change the color of the soup, so it's going to take it from a creamy looking chowder to kind of a darker one. I would consider this like a loaded chicken corn chowder. Let's see what it's like. That's interesting. So that pretty much takes it in a totally different, that takes it in a totally different direction. And I am not sure if that's the direction I want to go. It's not bad, but it's just, it is very different from chicken corn chowder to me. So you know what? I'm going to skip the cheese. So that means I'm going to add a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. So let's go with a half of a teaspoon of salt going right in. And I like mine a little peppery, so I'm going to do an equal amount, a half of a teaspoon of pepper. That would be a little bit much for a lot of people, but I like it a little peppery. And I would say that our chicken corn chowder is going to be done now. But I just am really on the fence about this cheese. I'm going to skip it. So it won't be in the recipe. Yeah, it's not going to be in the recipe. I like it better without the cheese. But you could always add cheese to it if you are somebody who likes that. Or you could add cream cheese like Brittany does. All right, so let's go ahead and take a little bit because we're all done. And that was very quick. I'm going to get a little bit of chicken in this one. Everything looks amazing though. It really does. All right. So the texture, what I mean by texture, really the thickness is pretty good. I'm happy with it. Some people might like their chowder a little thicker, but I think this is going to be good for me. All right. So that's a potato and some corn. And hopefully I don't burn myself here. All right, let me go back up here. Let's see. Oh, Bonnie, yeah, is it TikTok now X? No, they're two different things. Hi, Marlene. How are you? Just making sure I'm not missing anything here. Let's see. I enjoy cream soups more than broth soups, except for oxtail soup. Yes, which is a good beef and oh yeah, good beef and barley. Oh my gosh, I've got a beef and barley soup that's really good too. Jeff, that's one of Jeff's favorite soups, and I haven't made that for him in a while, so I think I'm gonna have to do that. Yeah, John, that's exactly what I did, and I am just not a fan of the cheese. That's just me, and I love cheese, but not in this soup. It's not what I'm used to, right? It's all about what we're used to. Okay, here we go. Very good. Now those potatoes are just a tiny bit overcooked for me. But I don't know if I would go down to a minute of pressure cooking. What I would probably do is do an immediate release of the pressure. So I wouldn't do that 5 minute, which turned out to be 6 minute natural release. It's good. I think it needs a little bit more seasoning for me. A little flat. And that was one of the issues that I ran into before too, when it was a little bit flat. And I didn't want to oversalt it. So I'm trying to think of what else I could add. We've got our onions, we've got our carrots, we've got our celery, we've got our garlic in there. I think it really honestly needs more salt, which is, that's just what it needs, because it is a little bit flat. Now, is there something else I could put in there? Oh my gosh, that means this one isn't quite ready for release either, but we are very close. We are very close, but I have to get it to not be flat. The vegetables taste good. Everything tastes good. It's just not a Louise recipe. Isn't that funny? Oh, Spencer, the French onion soup. So that's interesting because I just made it again in the Possible Cooker Pro. Now that is an old recipe of mine. Oh my God. I don't even know if it's written well. I know the soup was good, but I used the wrong cheese on it. It was terrible. Like that was back in 2015, I think, or 16 when I did that. Juliet, that would be good. Red pepper flakes. But to the French onion soup. So what I ended up doing is I used the Possible Cooker Pro and I baked the onions. I like to try different functions on these appliances, right? See if they'll do something better. One of the things about making French onion soup is it takes so long to caramelize the onions, and it's the most important step of making the soup. And it can take 45 minutes of standing over the stove because you have to really regulate the heat. So I thought, well, what if I put them in the Possible Cooker Pro and put it on bake so that I'd get the heat from the sides and the bottom? And my thinking was I'm going to have this mound of onions, thinly sliced onions, and I'm going to put the butter on top. I put some oil in the bottom, but then I'm going to put the butter on top. And as the bottom browns, shrinks and then lets the next layer of onions fall to it, and the next layer of onions fall to it, the butter melts. And I was hoping I would avoid getting that liquid that will ruin your browning. Like when I'm trying to think how to explain this. So if you put too many onions in your pan and you're on the stove or any pot or anything, and you're not slowly cooking them enough, they'll release too much liquid, and then you get all this steam, and the steam will impede the browning process. So I was thinking with using Bake on the Possible Cooker Pro, I will avoid that. And guess what? I avoided that. And it worked out beautifully. And then I added the rest of the ingredients and it was delicious soup. Really, really good. All right. Somebody was giving me some, let's see. Yeah. So John's saying flattens it. What about lemon juice? Well, I could, but lemon juice might curdle the cream. And I just don't think that's the right flavor, but an acid is actually a good idea, John. What a weird thing to put in a chowder. We don't usually think about putting an acid in a chowder. I don't think I'm going to use lemon juice though, but I'm thinking about maybe a tiny bit of white wine vinegar. So let me grab some. We'll see how that goes. And maybe I'll try next time I make it. Maybe I'll try to put a little bit less cream in because I don't think it needed as much as a cup. Let's just putting in a half of a teaspoon, which is kind of a lot for this little dish, but it'll give me an idea if that's going in the right direction or not. Because I do like the idea of an acid in there. That's interesting. Okay, I think you're onto something, John. I think I put too much in there. But that did bring this little bit of tang. Now I guess if this vinegar didn't curdle it, the lemon juice wouldn't, but I don't know if the flavor is going to be right with the lemon. Oh, Barbara, that's a really good idea. Let's try that. I have it. You know I have it, right? So Barbara's saying a little bit of fish sauce, which is one of the stinkiest things in the world. Oh my God, I cannot stand the smell of it. But let me just tell you, it makes a world of difference in so many things. It just adds this umami flavor, and I literally am putting a drop. That was like 3 drops. That was like 1/8 of a teaspoon. Probably too much for this, to be honest with you, for this little bowl that I've got here, but let's just see. So I would probably, if I was going to make this, I would probably put maybe 1/4 of a teaspoon in that whole thing and see. But that's a really good idea. And that little bit won't change the color. So let's see. So now we've got vinegar in one. And this is how it's done, guys. This is how recipes come together. When it's missing something, you need to think about balance. Sometimes it's missing a texture. You got to think about that. Sometimes it's missing a color. I've got great color here, so I'm not missing any of that, but I am missing that, just that little special thing. George, Vegemite, 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 Vegemite. All right, let's see if I like this better. No. Vinegar's better than that. That is not working. It could be I put too much, but no, that is wrong. And it did not work, but we tried it, right? Yeah, MSG. That vinegar is but it takes the soup different. It just takes it in a different direction. It does do something, but man, I don't know if I want to do that either. Okay, so now we're going to try just a tiny bit of butter. I know that sounds kind of weird, doesn't it? And of course, I've got bacon to put on top of this too. Let's see if it just needs a little bit of butter. I think it needs salt. I really do think that that is the answer. Now, when I made this in the past, it was so much better the second day. But I need it to be good the day you make it in order to release it. But it was perfect the second day. But again, I can't have a recipe that isn't perfect the first day. It has to be perfect the first day. Hi, oops, how are you? Thank you. That's a nice comment. He says, I appreciate the recognition of spam and I'm hypersensitive about it. Yeah, I get it so much. Oh my gosh. And we're talking about email, but I can't imagine not wanting to see one of your recipes, even if it's not for the foodie. That's awesome to hear. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. That's it. I need some butter. That just sort of brings everything together. Wow, that is really good. Now, that's good. Hi, Josh. All right, little salt. I mean, a tiny bit on that little bit of butter. So I think what I would do is put a little bit of butter, a couple tablespoons of butter at the end, and cut back the cream. So that's how I'm going to do it next time. I think I oversalted it now. That's what happened. All right. Oh, yes, Sylvia. I actually, look, I meant to do that. I bet you're right. That is something I really meant to do. Now I'm just going to do this like this here. Whoops. How many get in there? That is right. Oh my gosh. Okay. So now you see guys, now I'll be making this recipe 2 more times. Thank goodness for my freeze dryer because I'll freeze dry it. So during the winter when I want to have a quick meal, I can just reconstitute it with water or broth or whatever. Probably just water. All right, so let's do this because I think you're right. I meant to put that in and I totally forgot about them because they're over there. And then I would garnish with the bacon. I bet you that's it. I bet you that's going to do it. Yep. A little more salt in there. A little less cream, maybe. A little butter. Chives and bacon. Oh my gosh. That's good. Oh my goodness. That did it. Thank you, Sylvia. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let's see. Hey, Bonnie. Yep. This is what I love doing. Thank you. I'm much less stressed out than I was. I was really in burnout, guys. It was really bad. Oh my gosh, that's delicious. Wow, that's so good. So I'll add some salt. I'm not going to add butter to this because I do have all the cream, but I'll add some salt to that. And I think it's, Gus, you can't eat this. He's like, I want to eat it, Mom. My baby dog. He's the cutest little thing. I don't know if you can see him. It's kind of like Where's Waldo, you know, because he can blend in. He's my sweetie. He is my sweetie. All right, get down because people don't like to see you on a counter. They really don't. You have better manners than that. You know that, right? Oh, you really want this bacon. You cannot have the bacon. All right. Sorry, guys. All right. Well, look, it's 7:44. So I went 1 hour and 15 minutes. This is a super quick and easy soup. Greek onion pie. No, but I'm all over that. Hi, Hope. I am all over that. I am going to watch that. I'm going to look and see what that is because I don't know if you saw my recipe for Greek meatball soup, but it is so good. It's got like lemon and mint in the meatballs and then a lemon sauce that goes into the soup. Oh my gosh, it is so delicious. And I love onions, so I am definitely going to look at that Greek onion pie and see what it is all about. Definitely. Hey, Sean, how are you? Well, we are just signing off and I made chicken corn chowder, which to be honest was a little flat and I needed to add some things to it. So I added a little bit more salt. We tried some vinegar. We tried some fish sauce. Vinegar worked better than the fish sauce, but the vinegar still wasn't quite the ticket. And then Sylvia reminded me about chives, which I had over here, meant to use. That was the finishing touch that it needed. It really brought the flavors together. It's so amazing to me how one addition can change the flavor of a soup or a dish. And so ingredients are important. They really are important for balance and flavor. So we needed a little bit more salt and just that finishing touch of a fresh onion, right? There's onions in there, but these are fresh and they have a different flavor. They're mild and they're just, oh my gosh, that did it. Perfect. All right, guys. Well, I can sign off now, I think. Let's see. Thanks, John. Thank you. Thank you. It's been fun. This has been fun. Good night, George. All right, guys, I think that's it. I think I have answered the questions. Thanks, Bonnie. All right, guys. So I can sign off now and get my soup put away and I'll let it chill overnight. And then I have tomorrow, the rest of my French onion soup goes in the freeze dryer. And my big mistake goes into the freeze dryer too. My big mistake that I rectified was I made a lasagna in the combi. And it was good. Don't get me wrong. It was good, but it needed to be cooked longer. And I was trying out, how to do it because it's super easy because you don't even boil the noodles first. But I didn't get my timing right. And with something like lasagna, I would have had to add a whole bunch of liquid and then bake it longer. And really it would have kind of changed the flavor too much. So that was a recipe that was just sort of, okay, in theory, it's going to work, but I messed up my timing. So it's got to go back to the beginning of the testing cycle again. And that's fine. I'll make it again. But what do I do with this big pan of lasagna? So basically, I put it in the Foodie on slow cook, chopped it up, put it in the Foodie, poured in some chicken broth. I think it was chicken broth I used. Yeah, chicken broth. And I made lasagna soup. And it was amazing. But that's going in the freeze dryer too. Yes. So anyway, it's been fun. It's always fun. I love you guys. You know that. And I will see you next week. So I'll see you next week for a Q&A. I will do a Q&A next Tuesday because I'll be at home and I've got my new office I can show off. And I've got the whole setup there. And I just need to take some lights because it is dark in there. You can't really see me, but I'll bring those from here. They're little ones, so it's no big deal. And I will see you on Tuesday for a Q&A and we can sit and chat. And so, get your questions ready and challenge me on things. Like I always love that. If I don't know the answer, which a lot of times I don't, other people in the chat sometimes know the answer. A lot of times they do, because we always learn better together. I mean, we always learn better together. There is not one of us that knows everything, right? And so my experiences with cooking are different from your experiences with cooking. And when we can come together like this and chat about it, it just makes for a wonderful learning experience for all of us. And let's face it, we've developed friendships over the years. I mean, Jeff and I flew halfway across the world basically to see somebody that we've met through the salted pepper that I'd never met in person before. And we stayed with them and felt perfectly comfortable doing that. I mean, that's a community. I mean, I don't recommend that for everybody because, I think I knew John and Barry well enough to know we were good. But, I don't recommend flying halfway across the world and staying with strangers all the time because you just never know. There are some weird people out there. But that is the type of community that we have built over the years. And I just appreciate each and every one of you so much. And I'll see you next Tuesday for Q&A. Bye.